Jimmy Eat World, big show coming up on Friday night here in town, Arizona Financial Theater with the main Thursday in Paris. And you already heard his voice. Zach Lynn, the drummer of Jimmy Eat World, joins us here in studio on Bickley and Marotta Morning. Zach, it's been a while. How you been, man?
I've been great, and it's so good to be back.
It's you're forever the answer to a trivia question on our show. You were the last in-studio guest we had, and then COVID happened, and in-studio guest went away for a really long time.
I'm really sorry about that. I feel sort of responsible.
Not your fault. I don't think you had anything to do with it.
I don't mess with bats, so it's not my fault.
Not that rock bands are superstitious at all, but I know you guys must take some enjoyment in the fact that you performed halftime Sunday at State Farm Stadium when the Cardinals finally ended that home losing streak. Because, of course, it's all because of you guys.
Well, exactly. They were 0-8 at home before we were in the crib, and so it makes a difference. And we also have to go back to, the D-back season when I threw out the first pitch. They won that game. When we played the finals with the Suns and the playoffs before that, the series before that, they won both of those games. So if you want your team to win, you invite us, you give us a suite, right? And then you give us some free food and let us play.
Some jerseys.
Yeah.
Some
jerseys. We need the jerseys. And then just kind of pamper us, and your team's going to win.
Yeah. So that's going straight out to the Coyotes have a home opener. You can't do it because you're playing Friday night.
So what's funny is they actually asked us to be a part of the home opener. And unfortunately, we have this, it's unfortunate that our show is on Friday, but, this is a big show for us. It's a hometown show. So we're playing on Friday and not able to make the Coyotes. But I felt like, the first Coyotes game that I watched this year was last night, and they scored 6 goals. So I think that there's something going on with
magic, some Jimmy Eat World magic.
Plus,
happening.
they only play bigger venues. So they couldn't do the Coyotes.
That's brutal, man.
Ouch. Jared. Zach Lind of Jimmy Eat World joining us in studio. So this show, Friday night at Arizona Financial, tell us about it. And at this point, you guys have been at this for a long time. You've been all around the world playing music. What does a show in the hometown feel like at this point for Jimmy Eat World?
So we're really excited about this show. It's the first time that we've done a straight up headlining show in Phoenix since 2015.
Wow.
So it's been a very long time. A lot of the shows we played have either been us opening up for people, or we'll do a secret show at the Crescent where we announce it day of. And we haven't given our fans the chance to come to see us play in town with no shenanigans, no opening up for somebody. It's our show. So we invited the Maine, who's also a hometown band. Who's an amazing band and great live. So we kind of made it this supercharged hometown show for both us and them. And we're super pumped. It's going to be awesome. The difference between hometown shows and other shows is that we our guest list is really long, and so it's a little bit stressful to be honest.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I get it.
But that's kind of also part of the fun of the hometown show. A lot of your friends come out and celebrate and hang out and get to see what you do. Because I have friends who are parents from the kids at school, and they're like, oh, well, what do you do? You just seem like you're this homeless guy picking up your kid every day, And I was like, well, I play in a band, and then they'll come, and so they get to see what I do. So it's kind of fun to do that.
Yeah.
I never thought about it from that context, because you hear a lot about athletes when they're playing big games, the demands, the ticket demands. Yep. Yeah, that can get a lot of control, right?
Yeah, man. When you play in town, Dan, your band, you get flooded with friends. Hey, man, where's my free tickets? Get me on the guest list. Where's the VIP passes? And it's stressful, right?
Yeah.
So on that note, Zach,
Nobody left.
there are 4 of us here.
Hey, so to answer your question, there's tickets that are available. So that's why I'm here.
That is true.
So there are a few tickets available, and if you want to go to the show, all 4 of you guys here can buy them.
Oh, thank you.
And
even a promo code. No?
I don't know, where would the 4 of us go to purchase tickets?
Right.
I think you could just go to jimmyworld.com and figure it out from there.
There we go. And that's a good Friday night.
So so when you guys performed at State Farm Stadium, was it just assumed that Jim was going to be the one who revved up the horn at the beginning? Is that just the
Yeah.
That's just the hierarchy.
I didn't get involved in that conversation. I personally felt like I would have done a way better job. But, I don't want to steal thunder from Jim. I was the one I was the one that threw out the first pitch at the D-backs game,
right,
so I stole that from the guys. So
Well,
I'll go ahead and
guy.
let them wind up the siren. That's fine.
For those who don't know, Zach is also a tremendous youth baseball manager. Do you want to flex on that a little bit, Zach?
I mean, we did win the Arcadia Little League Championship last season. We are the 2022 Arcadia Majors champions, and it was that was so much fun.
How is your scouting and draft prep going on for next year?
So the thing is, here's what's really funny about this. So last year was my son's last year to play Little League, so he's now aged out. But I enjoyed myself so much that I'm like, if I wasn't touring a lot in the spring, I would probably just be that guy where hey, if you need a manager, I'll do it. And there's going to be none of my kids are going to be on the team, and that would be fun. I would love to do that, but right now I don't think I can coach because I'm going to be touring, and my son is also not going to be playing, so it would be a little bit maybe weird, the creepy coach that doesn't have anyone on the I don't want to be that guy, but it was so much fun that I would consider it.
Well, there are rumblings and rumors going around that you were kind of ruthless, with all apologies to Sarah the Ruthless, that you were kind of cutthroat as a manager. They probably don't want you back in there, man.
I almost got thrown out of one of the games, to be honest. The umpire almost threw me out.
Well, and a lot of people might not know this, but your dad Jack was in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and actually, my dad, he was he played for the Brewers for a partial season. He was a shortstop, and then Robin Yount's rookie year was the next year, so they didn't have enough room on the roster for my dad. But he had a long playing career and a long managing and scouting career in professional baseball in the minors. He was the third base coach for the Pirates under Gene Lamont for a little bit. And he was actually my assistant coach in Little League, so it was awesome to be able to coach with him, and he was able to coach his grandson, and it was just a great experience.
That's awesome. Zach Lynn, Jimmy Eat World, who not only is the drummer of a great band here locally, but also huge Arizona sports fan. We've had you on to talk sports before. We got to get your synopsis on where the Cardinals are right now. Bick and I have had, it's been therapeutic to talk about them because there's been so much to talk about from the offseason to the way the season has begun. What are your thoughts on where the Cardinals are?
I think it's a really complicated situation, and it's hard to read when you're not there. And I would even to me, it feels like there's a coach that has some limitations, and then a quarterback that also has limitations. Yes. And I think a lot of people have made this assumption that Cliff and Kyler are a great match because they come from a similar system. They played the system in college. Cliff had this previous relationship with Kyler trying to recruit him. But the reality of it is I think Kyler doesn't need someone like Cliff. He doesn't need someone that sees things the way he doesn't need someone that reinforces what he already knows. He needs someone like a Sean Payton type who is, hey, I'm going to take what you did really well in college, and I'm going to help you translate into what you can be in the NFL, and that requires a completely different outlook, a different approach. I loved your interview with Kurt Warner the other day because he really speaks to that. It's we're not teaching these younger QBs in high school and college, how to really read defenses properly that in a way that actually works in the NFL. It might work in high school, it might work in college, but it's a different game, it's a different sport. So to me, I feel like we're making this assumption, or anyone has any kind of confidence in Cliff and Kyler, we're making this assumption that, this is a match made in heaven, and I actually think Kyler might need someone he respects, who actually he looks up to, and a guy can say, and a guy that can hold Kyler accountable. So, I think, I'm not sure who that is, but Sean Payton is a guy that springs to mind.
Yeah, listen, I'm right in alignment with you.
What could go wrong, Zach? They're only under contract for the next 28 years.
and that's really an owner problem, right? I like Michael Bidwell, but you have to establish a culture where people need to earn their spot, and I don't think you can really say that about Keim and Cliff at this point.
Yeah. Jimmy Eat World in concert this Friday night, Arizona Financial Theater. First headlining show for Jimmy Eat World in Phoenix since 2015, and somehow there's tickets still available. But if you want to get a hold of those with the main Thursday in Paris, go to JimmyEatWorld.com. And then if you're headed to Vegas over the weekend, Saturday at the When We Were Young Festival. Second weekend for that, right?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Zach, good to see you.
Great seeing you,
Good to
bud.
talk to you, and best of luck with the shows this weekend.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank
it was
you.
so much fun to be here.